because I always forget this part. The sound, right? Because it'll duplicate, right? Oh, okay. So if I just close it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. And now I'll see if I can share it. There we go. Okay, we're live.
Okay, I will call this meeting to order at 8:10. We respectfully acknowledge that the Township of Cavan Monaghan is located on the Treaty 20 Michisagi territory in the traditional territory of the Michisagi Anishinaabe. We offer our gratitude to First Nations for their care and their teachings about these lands. May we honor these teachings. At this point, we need approval of the agenda. I believe I know we have some changes to the check requisitions under 9.12. And I'll ask Zach to state what those check requisition changes are.
So two changes on the requisitions. First one is for John Jones. There's a reduction there because we had to bring like a further for sound. So that's now $1,017. It's really a change in the agenda.
That's just basically how I said to Kathy yesterday is we could just, because it's on the agenda. So I just said, just amend it, and then just I think there's a number of ways you can handle it.
Second change was to BIA box redemption, just adding the proper GL number, which was GL 01-259-00000-6353. And then there's a couple additions as well. So first one being a reimbursement for Ryan, $150 on the liquor license. And do you need the GL?
I think Kathy gave them, but you probably should. Yeah, you should probably just for the purpose of the meeting.
The GL 01-25-29-29-6169. That'll fall under license and insurance for the fall festival.
Okay.
Next one is for DAR Kimball for $1,200. GL 01-25-259-29009-6150. Contracted services for fall festival. That's the band for the next one's for Danny Bronson. It's $400. Another musician. It'll fall under the same GL number. It's the previous one. And contracted services for the festival. And then the last one is for Riley Farmer. It's $1,200. It'll be the same GL number. This is the sound system guy. And it'll fall under the contracted services for the fall festival.
Great.
I think that's everything for that.
I think the Riley Farmer one was slightly different than the $1,200. It was in the email that Bridget sent out, just slightly different. It's 1,200 and change. Like I can't remember now. I don't have it in front of me.
The email that I sent it. You mean with the agenda?
Yeah, I sent you an email and then you sent back an email. It's not much different. I'm sorry, I don't,
So. Okay, so what I sent out was a link to the agenda and. Yeah. Okay,
Sorry.
I'm not, yesterday,
1,000.
yeah, it
$200.
when he sent his invoice, it was a little bit different.
okay, yeah, we got it.
So $1,247
Okay,
and 50 cents.
50 cents. Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. Are there
you just
any
need a
other-
motion to approve the agenda with the amendments.
with that, thank you. Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay,
Okay. Now proceeding with disclosure of pecuniary interest, anyone? No. We have no closed session. And now Chloe and Michelle.
right, just gonna. Yeah, I think I can just go here, right? Can you see the presentation, Kathy?
No. The agenda was up. So there's a written presentation that should be on screen? I don't see that.
Yeah. You don't see it?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes,
Okay, good.
I can.
Okay. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, so I think before we get started, we just have to make a motion to. What's happening here? What's it do? Oh, there. We just have to make a motion to accept the materials that Michelle and Chloe are, because they weren't part of the circulated agenda.
Are we not able to receive their presentation?
It's just the materials. Yeah, you receive it at the end. It's just the
Yeah.
materials. So
Sure,
So
yeah.
Michelle has a really great presentation. It's
I
just we didn't, normally you're supposed to circulate all materials. So we didn't do that.
I
Um,
understand. So
Which is fine. You just
Yeah.
need to make a motion, yeah, to accept the material.
but after the presentation to accept,
No,
no, right now?
yeah, we're good. We got it. Okay. All right. Hey. Oh, yes.
I think Sophie and I met for the movie committee. And I said I would think about taking it on if I could bring my living friend Michelle into the mix. Because she's very organized and just amazing at holding events together. So truly she is. And of all of them. So I'll let her do it. Thanks, Lloyd. Hi, everyone, I'm Michelle, so I'm here to talk to you about a Mary Millbrook residence. I did this as a presentation because I wanted to, Chloe and I wanted to be able to show some of our concepts and our plans, update you on some of the things we've been doing. And I think probably most importantly, I met yesterday with Yvette and with Bridget to talk about all the interplay and logistics with the township. And we had a couple little surprises yesterday.
Yeah.
In this context. Everybody can open mind, new ideas, we'll see how this goes. Okay. This first slide really displays the stage for a Mary Millbrook. We'll put it right in front. We think we have a good concept here, but quite frankly, we think around the things that so December 7th would be Melbourne. Story would be the Melbourne parade, followed by some kids activities. I didn't hear Bridget this morning, but yesterday, like, the kickoff for this was this yesterday, maybe to go to a meeting about, so maybe just explain, I think, originally Paulina was going to the planning principles that during the day, and wouldn't it be great to have it after the parade, for everybody. But then yesterday we found out that the parade. So maybe.
Yeah, yeah. See, you got some things to do. So, yeah, so we had originally put the date down, I had originally put the date down as December 7th. The parade and the firefighters dinner is always on the same day, because the firefighters, volunteer firefighters, want to participate in the parade and all the activities, but they want to, and then they want to go to their dinner, so they want to keep it all in one day, because December is a pretty crazy month. I thought all of that was the 7th. And I just found out from our fire chief last week that it's actually booked for the 14th. So I was like, oh dear. So so we were like, okay, do we, we knew that BIA wanted to participate and have something as part of the same day, which was a great idea. So we were like, okay, do we move it all to the 14th? Or do we move it all to the 7th? Anyways, when we kind of chit chatted with Michelle, and we saw how full the agenda is that you guys have planned, and it looks great. We thought it might actually work better with it being split over 2 days. So you would have kind of your retail shopping kind of component on the 7th. And then you would have the parade and then the CMCC activities on the 14th. So I think in actual fact, the parade probably would have crimped your style a little bit. So I think it works better. So I think, yeah. So, yeah.
All right, click. So get your brains around. Today.
Well, I think it gives it like, it's like Christmas in Millbrook, December in Millbrook, yeah, so.
Theme of a merry month. So the Christmas in the village component would be on December 7th. And then the milk parade is actually would be on the 14th, and that would be under the purview of the ship and the collaboration that you have with the fire department. And so some of the things we've been talking about in terms, today we're going to focus on the village, but the complementary event for the 14th would be the parade. We talked, and Chloe and I can do some thinking with Bridget around, could we have other sort of Christmas in the village type things on the 14th, just to keep it somewhat connected. And then Yvette talked yesterday about maybe a public skating with Santa on that parade day with some kids activities at the CMCC. So our pitch for why we want Christmas in the village on the December 7th and keeping it as a 2-day event is because it's focused more on the shopping and retail experience. It gives more lead time for Christmas shopping. The 14th is getting a little bit close to Christmas for buying. Well, my husband might still be buying gifts, but I'll have all my gifts bought by the 14th. And we'll outline in a few minutes. We have a few photography features that we can think about. And so I think having it a little bit further away from Christmas is better. The other, maybe the thing that Chloe and I are the most excited about is that we want to do a breakfast with Santa this year on the 7th. And the Legion has generously agreed to provide all the food, staffing, and the Legion in kind, so that we have the ability to make quite a bit of revenue for the tickets. And they cannot host the breakfast with Santa on the 14th because they're doing firefighters dinner. And then I think the other, because of it's like logistics, domino. Saturday mornings at the old they have soccer, so it's challenging to have the parade any earlier than you said 1 o'clock. Road closure thing. So the parade being at 1 o'clock, it does cramp our style a little bit.
Yeah.
Going. This outline of parade must be on December 14th, aligned with the firefighters dinner, which the Legion hosts the evening, and the firefighters event and the parade on happening. That would be kind of hard to do.
And if anybody online can hear the noise, that's just the construction going on next door.
And I think we got pretty excited yesterday around the BIA planning committee. And the township being committed to working together to promote this as sort of a single environment for the 2 weekends or the 2 Saturdays. All right. So now let's get into the Christmas in the Village component. So December 7th, and Chloe and I are presenting this as our draft sort of plan. So straight to the point, we want to be able to get your questions, and hopefully sort of general endorsement of this plan today, so that we can make it official in early October. So people know about it, they can save the date, and we can start in vendor registration. Tentatively with our work back, Chloe and I set that as the end of the first week in October, so that we can give enough lead time for folks. And so today we want to be able to clarify and collaborate some things around budget. I've heard about this with production monies, so Chloe and I have been talking about that. We wanted to outline for you some of the revenue sources that we have in mind, the marketing and advertising. And here, like, this is my first time doing this. I'm not part of the BIA. We don't want any surprises. So if we suddenly hear, oh, there's this whole warehouse of supplies, and you don't need to go out kind of buying things. I think just hearing where there's materials and supplies and relationships and sponsorships already existing would be super helpful. And maybe some brainstorming, if not today, as we go around recruiting more volunteers. As excited as Chloe and I are, 2 of us will not cut it. Today, yes, maybe, or your ideas, leave them to you. So this is from now until December. Right now, we're in what we call the discovery phase for what's possible. And yesterday was a super helpful meeting and trying to work out the nuances of the logistics. The next couple of weeks, we really want to get focused on nailing down our internal schedule, which we'll present draft today, and starting to source some vendors and some stock marketing, so that by the middle of October, we're kind of full steam ahead with activating things and getting closer to the actual setup on December 7th. We do want to be able to get people excited and involved in the event this year. Bridget mentioned yesterday, October 7th is an important milestone for us because it's the council meeting, and that's where Bridget will bring the amendment request for the road closures and things like that. Because the draft road closures, everything was on December 7th. We have to adjust some things, and I think Bridget has stage advice that we get through that milestone before we start advertising and getting vendors on board, so that's right in line with our timeline. I think ideally, shortly thereafter, we send out a save the date through social media, and we work with Bridget to find some cross-marketing on the website and your social media platforms, so that by kind of that end of the first week in October, we can open vendor registration. Some of the ideas that we have to get people excited and involved throughout October and November is, I call it Maker Monday. So on Monday, we would ask who can help us build Christmas trees and do this and donate materials. Which Wednesday would be like if you could have something at the event, starting to do some polling around some of the features. Feature Friday, we want to feature breakfast Santa, which we'll tell you about, as well as the mini photography sessions, which we'll talk about. And then say yes, Saturday, I thought would be a day to help volunteers. Maybe when they're already lost the line, if people have to do it, and they'll bring their hand to volunteer.
Contract. Some contract.
Yeah. Kind of our proposed schedule at a glance. This with the assumption that we're on December 7th and that we're not needing to apply or compete for parade this day. And we've adjusted, we and I had it yesterday, we've adjusted this plan based on the fact that we don't have to hopefully have to accommodate the parade. So our concept is around in the morning of December 7th, hosting our Keystone event would be breakfast with Santa. As I mentioned, the Legion is committed to working with us on this event. We spoke with Bridget about e-tickets, right? Potentially for doing e-tickets versus versus paper tickets. And our concept is that there would be 2 sittings. This timing will be worked out with them, but sort of as a draft, there would be a sitting at 9 and a sitting at 10:30. Our goal is to sell at least 75 tickets per sitting, which would be 150 people. And the Legion is cooking up a buffet breakfast. There'd be games, prizes, and a small gift. Chloe and I are kind of conceptualizing like working with a sponsor or something where kids get a book that's going to be. And the Legion actually does their toy drive, and they have it set up in the Legion in December. So they'll encourage people to bring toys for the toy drive. Whether we do this inside or outside, this is we're doing it. I'm excited yesterday. Down. I had the bridge I'm setting up a role for the Santa Village, and so maybe when people were done at the first sitting, they would go outside and get to go to Santa Village and get their picture taken with Santa. Whether we go that elaborate, Santa might just be inside, but a couple things to take home as part of your ticket price. So he won't be at
Santa's magic. You could shake him.
tomorrow, the parade is at 1 in the afternoon. He also goes to, Santa also goes to the Queen parade. So Santa maybe potentially be on the 17th of Santa.
He has a sleigh. Hello. Like a jet.
Sure, and we wondered about maybe band, like having boundaries like driving. And so that's our plan to take it. You get to do, you get to be both kind of way, but we can come back to that. Right now, I just along the right hand side, you'll see there that Santa's like breakfast and Santa is a potential like revenue generator for the event. Chloe and I were thinking it would be like $20 for adults, $15 for kids under 10 or something like that. So if it was half and half, like half parent, half kid, we could be in the range of about 25 to 2,800 ticket sales if we sold for 150 people. So that's a really important sort of piece of our budget. And then the concept is that whether it starts at 1 or starts right away at 12, that we would move into more the village. So a merry marketplace and a merry Christmas village. And the concept is that there'd be food trucks, artisans, makers, like the usual kind of craftsmen. And yesterday, Yvette told us we were throwing around like, I don't know, 5 different combinations of where the food trucks and vendors would be. And I think right now, so this is like a kind of hot off the press, Yvette's trying to work to get the Tenney property right behind the Black House, so that there'd be some lights, there would be food trucks and everything inside and behind the Black House. I think Chloe and I like that because it's immediately connected to Main Street. We had thought about having it down by the arena, but then when people don't see it, they don't know that it's there and you don't kind of go down there. So that's working on getting confirmation. And I think Bridget working with you to get like a floor plan or a mock-up. And then the Christmas Village part would be on King Street, where I know Chloe, you shared as a downtown business owner that sometimes having the vendors all set up on King Street, so don't tend to go into the businesses. So that's why we thought having the marketplace on Tenney's property, and then King Street would be more like a socializing, another kind of retail space. So we thought some fire pit lounges, which Yvette is working hard with the fire chief on. We might get one, but we have some ideas that a hot tub maybe a bar, having the township to donate a flatbed trailer stage and a sound system. I'm talking with both North and South Cabin about having a kids flyer down there and maybe having I know Chloe has some ideas around maybe a headliner for that. Oh, so that name is not very like free.
Great idea.
Like and Chloe is doing kind of interest and engagement survey with the downtown businesses, and they're making contracts, promo, decorating, that sort of thing. And we'd like our closing event that day to be a little Debt-free lighting. The firefighters association said they can have the regular tree out of the Legion December the 5th. So we would do a tree lighting, have the choir there, it's the bring it through. Great, decorate the tree. One piece that would be, it may be on Main Street, but we're also thinking could be sort of a repurpose of Santa's Village in the morning. Something we call memory lane, where people can, there'd be like a photo, like ask on a bucket. Selfie station, and I've reached out to a few photographers where families can maybe sign up for a mini section with a professional photographer. Chloe and I know I have a friend from Ontario recently, and I have a friend who they like decorate the like an antique truck and we take like family photos stuff, and we would pay $100 for 10 minutes and you get 15 digital photos. I think Chloe, you and I were a little bit nervous that it's getting a bit closer, but I think it would be like kind of we start from slowly they can only do 15 video sessions, not like hundreds of families that they're accommodating, but there would be like a more felt taking photos. Bridget, you told us that the fall dinner last week, you ordered like a backdrop, so you can have a nice backdrop.
Just selfie wall, yeah, we had set up a selfie.
It's understanding to the vendor marketplace that the registration fee is already set $60, so that's the amount that we're working with. I guess we'll wait to see what the format looks like for the tinning property, but our goal is to get like 20 plus. So yeah, I've done, we'll show you kind of our like kind of a bunch of breakdown with the makeup. There was like one lady on who was asking, is there this year I messaged her directly, and from that, like we probably have like 10 to 15 vendors already interested, and we've heard have the elusive white binder. Until like we didn't have something like that, but we have people interested. Keep this in mind thing. We've also reached out to Millbrook Hockey and Cal FC, and they've done a lot of merchandise and for kids. They're really interested in putting in tables. So I think there's already some buzz around it. Whether we raise the price or we have enough real estate to have more than 20 vendors, that's also the way to get above that 100. One thing we didn't talk about yesterday, Bridget, and I'm assuming it's through the town, is we wondered at the arena, like I know there's soccer and stuff there, so we'll be using it, but the bathrooms that they have.
Yeah, they usually.
Space.
Yeah, we usually. Because I think they kind of forget that though, because we usually leave them open for events, but yeah, I think they forget. Yeah, I'd have to check on. Yeah, they're not, oh, I don't think they're overwhelmingly expensive, so. But yeah, it's just because they're a little bit more visible than, but yeah, absolutely, you can use the arena.
So some of our concept is that like each of these things is sort of a feature, and that trying to get sponsorship that would sort of sponsor a feature. So the Legion's Breakfast with Santa, next to Santa's Village, like that thing. The sponsorship piece is sort of way out of my realm. I know in working with hockey, a lot of businesses are comfortable getting $750. Once you get beyond that, sometimes a little bit more challenging. So I think just as a rough estimate, I found like at least $3,000 in sponsorship we get is just sort of really to balance expenses. But today I know Chloe, you mentioned your Kathy, like OLG has sponsored this in the past. So
if through the BIA and the powers that be, you have ideas for just larger, more corporate sponsors, so we maybe don't have to pound the pavement to get all the little sponsorships, we're kind of open to that. But we do know to make this happen, we'll need some sponsorship money, and that we would like a volunteer group of people who would sort of help us manage and run each of the features. So in terms of the major features, we talked about Santa's Village and Breakfast with Santa. We're super happy to hear that the Legion wants to provide in-kind support for the breakfast itself. Sponsor toys. As we said, the Mary Vendor Marketplace, at least one sponsor, maybe Ghost Taco Chloe. You have a bunch of vendors interested, and we did hear about that elusive wayfinder. And then for Mary, the Christmas in the Village component, I think while we're looking to have sponsors to help us offset costs, we're already hear that the township will donate the stage and speaker. We have some possible collaborations with downtown businesses for a hot chocolate bar. We've heard about a tree farm that might be interested in doing some trees. And I've been reaching out to photographers for that memory lane. We did hear that the fire department doesn't need to or want to be involved in the tree lighting. They'll just make sure that the trees are up. And the other thing that we had talked about, Sarah, is rather than like Chloe and I in the BIA, we do like the idea of it being a licensed event where people like local beer and drinks and that to drinks. But when you start thinking about carrying a liquor license, having security, the fenced off area, we wondered about like maybe Movies Mercantile and the Peddler would have like a festive drink feature, or like if people wanted to go to drinks, they could pop into like licensed establishment versus as, you know, needing to check IDs and pick out drunk people and things like that. So maybe possibly collaborating with businesses who are licensed versus us having like a beer garden sort of area. Next one. I have this map in case we need to come back to it in terms of like closing things off. That doesn't really require any specific road closures, because it's private property, but most of it would be along King Street, like we're used to, from Hay to Distillery. The Santa's Village and the photo ops would be down by Eagler's Mill. We talked about, even though this is conservation area, that little bridge to the little island is a spot where we can sort of set things up so that it's off the road. We would need to talk if horse-drawn carriage rides are either part of Breakfast with Santa or the larger event. We are hearing, I think, and Kathy, you would know about this too, but from Bridget yesterday, that the horses need to be on proper pavement because of slipping. They want the street to be fully closed, so no cars. I think we know the King Street Needler's Lane Loop is the most logical one, but we do know that soccer happens till noon. Like it's 9 till noon, and that's where everyone parks up in Millbrook Arena. So we need to think about the logistics of incorporating the horses. And Chloe and I are definitely advocating for it to be contained within Breakfast with Santa because it's a very kid-centered sort of way.
I thought of the word. Was he saying that? Then you on the board.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You can paint
If anyone has ideas for containment.
it. It's never useful. Even like down leave the thing, it's not, you know, to see. And then you get like the dangerous one, right, then you come up either Allen, is, you know. Well, interesting either. Like if you have like a Christmas market on any property, it's a real Christmas market. It's true, you know.
But if it was as part of Breakfast with Santa, the market might have been necessarily. Another concept, and I don't know if this is too dangerous for the horses, because we talked yesterday about having maybe a BIA feature on the 14th. Like whether it could come out of the Christmas with the Village budget, but I wonder about having carried like during the public skating on that field. Like the backfield behind here. Like here.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Say it's a question.
Yeah.
We want to be able to incorporate it. Santa, we know that it's a big budget. It's popular. And so just how we incorporate that with like the logistics of the features being nice. This is a little redundant, but just with the vendors and services that we have to be able to sponsor for this, so for Santa's Village, a photographer, and maybe that same photographer would take photos throughout the day, and so whether that's provide their services in kind or for charge an hourly rate. I know people have mentioned David Harry, he's the one who takes pictures all around the downtown, I'm not too sure what's that. Yes. He's really keen to do it, so the village, we need a Santa, the township is helping. Give them, like,
He's busy.
obviously doing a lot of marketing for the Merry and Get Place. For the Christmas in the village, as I mentioned, we're hoping to have participating restaurants with liquor licenses to do all of that. And we're starting to drum up quite a bit of interest for the music. And then memory lane, I've been putting feelers out with an actual form photographer who will provide services for those mini sessions. Okay. So to the money, obviously we're like, it doesn't cost nothing to do these things. And so I think direct revenue that we anticipate would be, if we can pull this all off, will be a sure thing is money for the ticket. The vendors, we quoted it at 20 vendors, but as I said, whether the vendor price goes up or the number of vendors goes up, that's a way to increase price. At least, we think we need at least $3,000 sponsorship, and we're open to ideas for bigger ticket sponsors. So we're, paying the same people. One of the things Chloe has been reading in her survey out to the downtown businesses, some downtown businesses are interested in sponsoring, so we would approach them first. The estimated expenses are hard because we could get a lot of in-kind donations of materials and supplies and decorations, and when we put that out on the Maker Monday online, we might actually get quite a bit of stuff in kind for donation. But I think like imagining we don't get a lot of interest in that, I think that our expenses could be in the range of $9,000, and that includes the $1,600 that we've been quoted for the expenses. I think about 2,500 of the 9,000 is kind of variable. I'm pretty confident we could get in-kind donations and bring that down. And I wasn't sure whether there's, I don't think we weren't told that there's a budget available from the BIA in terms of any revenue. And that's where we wondered about the money from the Netflix fund. Is there any? Yeah.
This one says that.
There is, okay, wasn't sure. Yeah. And so I think.
Do you know offhand what it is?
Oh, man.
It like,
I'm sorry, explain.
I think.
yeah, that's what I was thinking that too.
So I think.
This is what I actually did.
Yeah. I think with that if there was 1,600, I think we would be pretty used to being. I think without the 1,600, or if things end up getting more expensive than we anticipate, we were wondering about any discretionary increase from the. And that could be in the range from 3,000 would be like amazing. Or 1,000 would probably give us a little bit of cushion, but I don't know if that is. Yeah.
It's just every.
Okay.
Unjustified.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the stated, but we're extra money needs.
You have numbers before you know, kind of get like a real good. What's the timeline for that? By the next year.
Have to. All
What's really, like, you have to wait for, yeah, to get the paper.
Yeah.
second.
Mhm. Yeah, but you'd have a better idea of sponsorship too, so you may not need it if you get a good corporate sponsor, yeah.
That's
Okay. And then finally, you can just click there, what we've been up to, so Chloe and I have been meeting weekly, we're doing this discovery phase, so in addition to meeting with the township yesterday. We've reached out to the public schools, in front of the athletic associations, the firefighters, some professional photographers, a metalsmith to help us with who's my neighbor. I put metalsmith, it sounds official, to help us with the fire pits, and then that's the, from the fire chief.
So, yeah.
We had a meeting yesterday, obviously the BIA today, we're on a couple upcoming meetings for some of the New York stations. And working on branding and marketing, and I'm excited to work with Brendan and Canva to crop it in 2 days.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Mine too. Gonna be fun. Gonna be fun.
Okay, and this is the next couple weeks that we're focused on is, between Chloe and I and the township, we have a whole to-do list around permissions, permits, logistics with the township. A vendor service contact list, so that white binder. Continue our thought marketing. Bridget has been generous to work with us on a event, right? So we can do some of these things in a digital way. One of the things that's a question mark, we did hear about, there's sort of a commitment to advertise with the Millbrook Times for the now, and so just getting some details around how we do that and oh, that's okay, it's okay. So I think today is really impressions, questions, just sort of general overall endorsement, anything sort of sticking out. What are we missing? What do we not know? What opportunities exist that you already know about? And then finally, I think some of the things, the one more click that Chloe and I highlighted were potential for Netflix plans, but we're hearing that we can kind of do a bit of sliding approach and that obviously the fourth and here is the question. Do you have any material slides that you find? We talked yesterday with Bridget about social media platforms, so we're in good shape for that. Is there a BIA email that we should be using, or can Chloe and I just use our regular emails? We weren't sure around finance administration, so if we have a one pager of sponsorship and like receipts and like all that, like if a sponsor comes like if you want to see it, like so any of those finance administration questions would be yeah, I don't know if when it's the BIA or you're not like what is what anytime we're exchanging money any program.
We can work with the finance with the township. Like I think the sponsorship, we can issue a receipt. And like we could probably issue one on your behalf, I believe. I don't want to speak too soon. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of like that administration would probably come through the township. Yeah, yeah.
What's the E? What's his name?
Earl Cochran. Cochran. And Kathy, I think you have contact information for Earl, don't you?
Yes, I can find his phone number. I don't have an email for him. It's always been by phone and in person.
Mm-hmm.
Not a problem. Probably good to speak to him sooner than later and determine what the cost will be, and that will depend on how many hours and what we're asking him to do. I can't provide the phone number right now, but I can within the day.
He's on the pretty one. I like
Do you generally feel comfortable with the person being close to Santa? I think it's a great day.
yeah, I think that's what it's just.
I think the only thing we just maybe ask is if they could do food. Because that was a bit of an issue last year.
That's really.
Big pile.
Your vendor, I would already
capabilities there. So, because vendors are. You get a product, you get trouble, you get rotten in. But the sooner you get it up there, the more people think about it, the people don't. It's.
Sure. Yeah, we do have an existing unit, so we could,
Bigger. Don't go to that, but. Yeah.
some trees.
I think it's like anything you buy when you go to the trees. They're wrapped in, it's like the ones that are. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're worried about.
Yeah.
But I always thought that would be. But yeah, I think. We didn't. It's there. Got a tree or.
Those are some of the features, like the feature of the meeting, where we want to feature breakfast substantial, feature the tree, feature like that thing. I guess like we can, I think it's between now and October 7th that we want to get all this background stuff done in the stock meeting, but that as soon as we get okay for the front closures, we can get going with 9, we can start.
I think we'll. Yeah, and I did mention that, I think yesterday, I don't. Yeah. And we talked yesterday about like a joint marketing campaign, and we could focus on, December, like Christmas in cabin type thing, where, you have events running over 2 weekends, right? So. That was before my time. Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah. It was. Yeah, but she tried to do it. Yeah. Which I think is what you have, like, I think that too. Yeah, and then the parade, we do the parade, and then there's a whole bunch of activities, skate with Santa at the CMCC, so in that sense, we're not competing against each other in trying to, like, you're pulling people away from the downtown, right? You've got that event beforehand that's pulling people downtown, and then you've got the other ones.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. 2 weekends. Yeah, or keep it like a full, like Christmas, and just call it Christmas, and then just say you have 2 weekends, yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
They want to be from the brand of either Captain or the BIA, so how does the admin for the BIA? Like there's a BIA Facebook page and all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, Daisy right now is running. Okay. Daisy, sorry, yeah, like.
Mhm.
Is that there's some.
Does Tim too? Does Tim?
To be,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right,
And can we send you things for Captain Mulligan?
yeah, typically I do try and put our branding to it, that's where I'm thinking if we can kind of co-brand. But we also try and share what is, yeah, thanks. We also try and share, like anything that you post on the BIA, we try and share that. If I'm paying attention. Oh,
Canva.
Canva, and
Canva? Yes, we need Canva.
what kind of conversation is that?
Is anything jumping out at you as exciting, nervous, something?
Are you there?
Hello.
Hi, you
I,
there?
I'm here. I have to tell you that most of the conversation is breaking up. I don't know if
Okay.
you can hear me clearly, but
Yeah, we can hear you.
okay. So I could see the presentation that was on screen, but I could not hear all of Michelle. I got the general idea. I think the question, if you've asked me a question or you've asked the board a question as to whether anything stands out, is that,
It made me nervous.
hello?
That was no.
Sure.
Are you there?
I'm here. I,
Okay,
the conversation at your end is breaking up, so I'm not hearing.
okay, do you have any concerns or questions?
I applaud this presentation, and I don't have any questions around the budget. I think we might have to look at that in depth at a later time. We can meet with our treasurer can meet with the committee to see where we are on budget, and I would attend a meeting later when we are clearer on the cost, the expenses. But I love the idea that it's over a week now, and I am 100% in favor of this proposal. I don't have any questions at this time, except to address the budget at a later time when there's a call for Tall Pines revenue from the filming from Tall Pines, which right now we do not have that I'm aware of. So I'm just saying that at a later time, we'll have to address the budget around this. But otherwise, I don't have any questions.
You want to make a motion to receive the delegation?
Yes. I am making a motion to receive the delegation. Do we need to further that motion, or is that just to receive?
Nope, Ryan seconded it.
Okay, great. All in favor? Okay.
Bye. Bye, Kathy.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Chloe and Michelle.
I got.
You know, the problem. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty good, then.
So carrying on with item 7 and 7.1 and 7.2. We need to approve the minutes of our last 2 meetings, July 25 and August 8th. The minutes are part of the agenda. Has everyone had a chance to review and if so, I would ask someone to make a motion to accept the minutes of both July 25 and August 8th.
So just a quick note, the minutes that were here say July 11th. Did we postpone it?
We had to postpone it because we did not have quorum.
Okay,
I believe we knew ahead of time we were not going to have quorum, and we actually had that meeting on the morning of ladies' night.
right, okay.
So the correct date on my agenda says July 25. Does it say?
On the agenda, but the actual minutes themselves. Well, that one, but this one says
Oh,
July 11th.
okay, I see. So we need to amend the minutes with respect to the date.
Yeah.
So we need a motion to, I think Tammy prepared those minutes.
There's.
Yeah, I think you just need to amend the date on the minutes, which is says July 11th, but the meeting was actually changed to July 25th. So you just need to, you can accept them. I think you can accept the minutes with the amendment. Yeah, to amend the date to July 25th.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll make that change on the minutes before Sarah and I sign. Just the date change.
Accepted, yeah. So you just need a motion to, which I think, did you make it, Ryan? Sarah? Yeah. And are you seconding?
Thanks.
Okay. And is that for both? July and August? Okay.
Okay, so that motion is carried, and business arising from the minutes, we have nothing there. And then we'll go forward with the reports. Under 9.1, the Treasury report, which is all recorded on the agenda. And unless anyone has any questions about, we did amend the check requisitions at the beginning of our meeting. I will ask for a motion to accept the Treasury report and check requisitions, unless we want to do that in two different motions. So we've got 9.11 and 9.12. I think we can,
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
okay.
So that's for the full Treasury report, right? 9.1 and 9.11 and 9.12.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
One motion to accept.
Oh,
And I guess the actual motion should be to pay as well as accept the treasurer's report and to pay. I'm just thinking,
Whichever.
think our finance department to pay. I'll check that.
requisitions as defined.
Yeah.
Yep. And you had Zach made the motion and Sarah seconded.
Okay. And we're all in favor? And we're carried. Then general business, moving on to decorating.
Were you gonna do your filming revenue and your budget? 9.13
I skipped by that. All right, so filming revenue, 9.1.3. I'm asking you, Bridget, to give us an update on revenue received. So we have,
So we just received the revenue from Tall Pines, so I'll do a check rec to get that funds, get those funds transferred over to BIA.
can you tell us the
Um,
amount?
I think it was 20, was it in total 2,500? Or for the
Thought
two
it-
film shoots?
There's 2 film shoots, so I thought that
Yeah,
the
one,
would be $2,000. And I thought the
Yeah.
second one would be $3,000.
no. I don't think they weren't here for 3 days. I think you already received that one where they were here for 3 days. We just received the one. So we just received the one for 2,000.
Okay, so that was for the film, the first shoot. The second
Mhm.
shoot, which didn't involve very much of the downtown, but it was filmed on Needler's Lane mostly. We had a discussion at our last meeting that the policy was still that it was within our downtown.
Yeah, we applied they were only there for 1 day, but then you also have the community care funding. So maybe you're kind of throwing them all together.
No, I didn't. I thought there was 2 days of filming, but I could be wrong on that. So it's 2 and 2 then, total $4,000.
2 and 1,
2 and 1. Okay, so
I believe so.
we're not
I'll
charging.
have to confirm. Yeah.
Okay, so we're not charging for setup and takedown.
Yeah, we did charge for setup and takedown. It's just, I don't think there were 2 days of filming. That's what I have to confirm. There was like a setup and takedown.
So 1 day of filming would be $1,000. And setup and takedown is 500 each.
Yeah.
So the second filming is just $1,000. Is that what you're saying?
They can set up and take down and see.
Yeah. Let me confirm that, Kathy.
Okay, so going
I
forward.
think you just got because I had to invoice for them separately
Okay,
for their books. So I believe I did get one check, but I don't think it covered both of them, just the one. But let me confirm that.
okay, so this is important for our for both the Fall Festival and Christmas in the Village, because I think we are over budget right now unless we get sponsorship, which I've tried, but so far unsuccessful. We might have to dip into that. So we need to know what that's going to be. And then with the commercial that was filmed for community care, I am looking to, I understand that hasn't been, we don't have that revenue yet, but we are expecting $1,000. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Okay. And I would like to make a motion that we donate $1,000 from that revenue, give it all back. Now, we can have discussion around this. So I'm not making the motion yet. We should have discussion first. I would like to see that go to Community Care Millbrook, specifically Millbrook, and there be a check presentation at the Fall Festival. I think that would be in, I think it just looks like we're supporting our community. And I don't think that we, as businesses downtown, needed really to be compensated in this case. That filming happened in the wee hours of the morning on a Monday. It didn't I'm saying we'll take the money, but let's give it back to our community care in Millbrook specifically. Can we have some discussion around this?
Should this not be in closed session? I'm fine with it.
I'm unable to hear you, Ryan. I hear Bridget well.
That's because I'm right beside the speaker.
Okay. So I'll have to ask you, Bridget, to tell me what other
So,
people are saying, because I can't.
That he's okay with with your proposal to donate the $1,000 revenue from the community care commercial back to community care.
Millbrook specifically.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. So do you want to make a motion then that you donate those funds?
Yes, I would like to make that motion unless someone else has anything to add to the conversation. I will make the motion.
I'll second.
But
So we're
Good.
yeah,
all in on that one?
9.14 budget.
Okay, so we still need to have a meeting of our executive to which would include treasurer, myself, and we've asked our council rep Ryan to attend. We just have not been able to, and the vice chair, of course. We haven't been able to meet as yet. And also we were waiting for the marketing budget, which is now being provided by Timmy. We don't need to discuss that in detail right now because we don't have Timmy here. But I think at this point, the four of us, I think we're all here, Ryan, Sarah, Zach, and myself, need to agree to meet and put a draft budget together, at least the back end of it, that we can bring to our next meeting. I'm not asking us to, we also have a decorating committee budget. I think it's important that we have this meeting ahead of time, and we can do that someone's house. If it can just have a general okay from the four of us that we'll do that before the next regular meeting, so that we have something to put forward at the meeting to approve the first draft, and then we can go forward with our AGM.
I have more of it.
I don't think we need a motion here. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just, if the
Yeah,
four,
maybe you could just agree to set up a meeting for.
yeah. So, yeah,
Deputy Mayor Huntley said next week he has more availability next week.
okay.
Yeah,
Me too.
okay.
Is Sarah, are you able to attend a meeting?
I will do my very best.
Okay, thank you. And I know I have Zach on board, and he's the treasurer, so
Yes.
we will
Just-
arrange a meeting next week.
Just on the topic of that, the next BIA meeting, I won't be here because I'm out of town. I don't work at conference.
As long
Did you
as,
hear that, Kathy?
yes, I understand that. Maybe we want to change the meeting, or maybe as long as we have something to present in writing, we don't need Zach necessarily at the meeting. But We wanna have a motion to approve a draft budget at our next meeting. So that we can present that to our, at our AGM. If we want to have, Zach at that next meeting, maybe we need to move that meeting to a date that works for him.
Let's have our meeting first. Figure.
Let's have our meeting first, okay. So we don't need a motion there, Sarah, just a notation that the
Yeah.
executive will meet next week to draft the budget to bring to the next regular meeting. Okay. And then 9.1.4.1. We have we did have a contract with KC Multi Solutions Limited that ended September. And we need to decide whether we're going to carry on with that contract in 2025, in which case it would be, it's $87. And okay, hold on, let me find this number here. $87.90 per month. So multiply by 12. We could defer this decision to another meeting. What we did between Zach and I and KC Multi Solutions Limited is we got a bill to just take us to the end of this year. So we are paid to the end of the year, although our contract ended in September. But we have to make a decision within the next couple of months whether we're going to go forward with a further contract. So if we don't renew our contract for 2025, then we have to move the shed someplace. So there should be some discussion about this now, but I don't think that we have to make any firm decisions just today, because we've got another month.
Unless you have an alternative for discussion to have.
Again, I can't hear Ryan, Bridget.
So he just said, unless you have another option, there's no discussion to have. But maybe what you could do is just defer it to your budget discussion and just bring forward it as an item on your budget.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Okay. So do we need a motion to defer to the budget discussion, or is it just a notation for Sarah's sake? I think it's a notation.
Yeah, you're just gonna defer it to your budget meeting you'll bring forward at the next meeting. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Under general business, 10.1 decorating committee update. Ryan.
Sure, so the fall work date has been set for October 2nd, with a rain date of October 3rd. They will get out there and corn stalks and the regular form or, and then they have a winter work date, November 1st, up there. Change over to the winter decor. They've already provided their budget for us to peruse. That's it's about the extent of what's important.
So just one thing is the filming company, Tall Pines, are coming back. And they're proposing October 1st. And I think they're gonna be here for more than one day.
And
Are
they're back at the mill again. They're
Okay.
not,
No, well, yeah, they are, but I think they're all over. They're, I think, doing another driving seat downtown too. So I feel like there's probably gonna be landscape changes that they're gonna do because there always is. So are they, can they move it to the following week?
If they get to the following week, it's probably not a lot.
Oh, they wouldn't get it for the festival.
yeah. They're looking to put the corn stalks on the lamp posts.
Okay, let me confirm with the film company. I'll just let them know that the decorating committee is planned October 2nd as their day. And they can, I mean, it could be a case of they're fine with the decorations. Right, so. I will follow up with Paul Pines.
Okay,
Okay,
and then let Ryan know, and Ryan can or you can let me know. And I'll talk to the decorating committee.
so just one more thing, do they need anything from the park staff?
Good question, you can figure that one, it's typically park staff. You deliver stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm pretty good with coordinating the price.
yeah, just if,
So-
maybe,
So I'll follow up with them.
yeah, perfect.
It's the decorating.
Okay, so we can move on to marketing committee update. And we'll take a motion to receive all reports at the end of.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so Timmy is not here. And so although she did have a report planned, I think it's important that she presented herself, and we should just defer this until our next meeting. There is a proposal, which I think was put forward by Brittany at Nexicom for our website. And that's the biggest piece of the marketing committee report, as well as the budget. They have prepared a budget, but we've already talked about looking at that budget at our executive meeting. So that's taken care of. And the website proposal is part of that budget. So we can talk about that at our executive meeting, and otherwise defer the marketing committee report until next meeting when Timmy can attend. And then our next item is 10.3 is events. We've got Fall Festival and AGM. So looking at Fall Festival first, Fourth and Now has, I believe by now, has published their article. We have probably not a lot to talk about here. Rather, we need to have a Fall Festival meeting, which I had originally set for tomorrow morning with Lance Nachuff at the Mercantile for 9:30 in the morning. I will not be able to attend that, and I'm not too sure where we are with it at the moment. I don't have to be there. I would like it if John McFarland could be there. Our next step with the Fall Festival is doing the street layout for vendors. And quite frankly, I'm not capable of doing that. And I would just like some support from Ryan, as well as John McFarland, who I haven't heard from. Bridget, do you know if he's on holiday?
He was away.
Okay.
He is back.
Okay,
But, yeah, you probably have to, sometimes you're better to call him. To just get a hold of him.
Okay. okay. So in the very immediate future, we need to figure out the street layout. We've got a beer garden on the street. We've got a stage, and we've got to figure out where the vendors are. And at this point in time, we've had, I think, 5 vendors apply, but we have not and pay, but we have not broadcast our vendor applications because at this point, I don't know how many spaces we have, and I don't want to be in charge of that. So I've asked Lance to help us with that, and he did say he would help. So between Bridget, if you could help us as well, I don't know if there's a schematic for the street that you could provide that would show us where the vendors could go. I don't want to be in charge, but I just think that we need to have a meeting with John, and then we can broadcast the vendor application everywhere.
Okay, so I think Ryan just said that he does have a schematic of the street.
Okay,
Let's do an aerial shot where we need, but I think Ryan already has one, so.
okay. So if Ryan could coordinate with Lance and John McFarland to meet and do the plan for the street layout. I have a general idea that the stage goes where it always goes. Then there's some blank space on the street going to the west, and then there would be some seating as we've had before, and then the beverage garden, and then food vendors behind that, and then vendors behind that. And bouncy castle at the west end.
So your road closure is still Tupper to Union,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. So stage at the east end, bouncy castles at the west end, and beer garden from in front of the stage, but set back enough to provide some seating and some blank space. And then put all the food vendors behind the beer garden, and then the rest of the vendors behind that. And then I did have discussions with Lance, and that made sense to both of us. But we don't have it drawn out on a plan. That's what we're
Okay.
looking for. So, and I don't need to be at a meeting that does that. I think it's important that Ryan be involved in that meeting because he's been involved in the past where I have not. And John McFarland, obviously, on behalf of the township and community policing to ensure safety.
Yeah, we got it, yeah.
Okay.
I think Sarah has a hard stop at like 9:30,
Okay.
so,
We
yeah,
move
so.
on. Okay, so let's carry on to AGM. I would be proposing that we set a date for a Thursday in November. And if we're unable to do this at the Legion, I'm suggesting that we do it at the Lions Club. It would be less costly there. I I don't think we need to actually decide where the venue would be. And I know Zach has offered his space as well, but what we do need to do is set a date. And then we can go forward with deciding the revenue or the venue. Can we suggest a date on Thursday, or does that not make sense? I'm thinking evening.
So the chitter chatter around the table, you probably didn't hear Kathy, was last Thursday in November.
That's fine.
Okay,
Okay, so if,
what's the date?
20.
November 28th.
okay. So the evening, so whoever did the chitter chatter there, I'm not sure if it was a man, it was probably Ryan. If you would make a motion to set the date for the AGM venue to be determined.
So it was moved by Ryan Huntley and seconded by Sarah.
Thank you. And then moving on to associate membership, we don't have any new applications. And now we're looking for a motion to receive all reports under, or sorry,
General business.
general business. Yeah. I guess it is reports under general business.
Okay, so Sarah made the motion and Zach seconded it.
Thank you. We have no correspondence, and now we need a motion to adjourn the meeting, please.
Sarah and Ryan.
Wonderful. We are adjourned.
Okay, just give me one
At 9:35.
Kathy.
Thanks, Kathy.
Bye, Kathy.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Stop sharing.
Yeah, I did do that.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you, Richard.
All right.